T-minus 10 seconds and counting.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition. Stop. Go Falcon. Go Dragon.
And
Godspeed.
away
Axiom
we
1.
go.
Together, a new chapter begins. Godspeed AX-1.
Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
Let's go. Let's go. Beautiful thing to see.
Seconds into this historic mission, flying crew on board Dragon and Falcon 9.
Orange telemetry nominal.
That.
Stage 1 throttle down.
What beautiful sight there to see. Historic. SpaceX launches its first all-private crew to the International Space Station. Tickets for this event weren't cheap. How about 55 million? How about dropping 55 million on it? This was not a cheapie. This was not a, hey, anyone can come aboard. But that's how it starts. Eventually, I'm going to get to the end and tell you how it ends. But I first want to start out by saying SpaceX is actually on a mission. It is the most powerful, bipartisan, apolitical mission that is going on in our world today. In America especially, too. Unbelievable to see this. It's a 4-person crew. I'm going to show you this article on it here. That when we talk about this, we're talking about firsts, never been done before. So when you see something never been done before in space, that's a big deal. First ever private space tourism mission. This is basically like taking an airplane. Like if we were back in the day and we saw the first private commercial airplane flight. That's what we're seeing. They took off and everything's looking A-okay after liftoff. It was successful. What they're doing now is proving that it's safe, is what we're on the mission here of doing. The footage was tweeted out earlier and, quote, the AX-1 crew will participate in educational outreach and conduct innovative research experiments while on the orbiting laboratory from SpaceX. So the International Space Station is not some glamorous mansion. It's literally just a lab traveling, I don't know what the speeds are, 20-something thousand miles per hour around the Earth. The footage, oh my goodness, is just so beautiful. When you look at the tweets and the videos, I mean, it's just unbelievable. And I feel like it's something that brings us closer to God. I think the more we go into space, the closer we get to God. And finding out the universe and more about our universe and other planets. And eventually, we will amass more information as humans that will help us in the future. No different than the explorers before us. We are seeing exploration. This is courageous stuff from these rich private people who took the flight. Like I said, 55 million each for the rocket ride and the accommodations. I hope that includes food. It's 55 mil. Like at the least you could, I don't know, a meal or two. That is it going to be that dried ice cream? Did anybody have that? Growing up, we used to taste like, well, what's the ice cream or what's the food that the astronauts eat? And it'd be this dried ice cream. Actually, it wasn't that bad, but it wasn't great either. The crew consists of an American, Canadian, and Israeli who run investment real estate and other companies. Who else is going to be able to drop 55 mil on a trip? Just a rocket trip. That's a lot to drop. And they did it. I really am glad to see it. Happy for them. Happy for our country. what's happening here is historic. So you had a former NASA astronaut, Michael Lopez Alegria, commanding the mission. And Russia has been hosting tours at the space station and before that for decades. But visitors will have access to all but Russian portion of the space station. You know, we've got some things going on with Russia right now. But this is the first time that, it's good to see the American program back. I mean, this is the first ever private tourism mission, and it's good to see us back. America's space program is back, and the solution was always private companies. Government can't do this. The government can help. They're part of it. But the solution if you see a problem in America, the solution is not going to be the government. It's going to be handled, homelessness, it doesn't matter what it is. It's going to be handled by the government allowing private corporations to do what they do, to fill a demand. So they're not going to go to the Russian portion of it, and they're going to say, we're not going to talk politics. We're not going to talk politics and the war over there. I got it. Yo, I just saw the rocket on the way to school. Absolutely radical, one person said on Twitter. So if you're in Florida, I believe this came out of Florida, right? If you're in Florida and you happen to have seen it and you're like, whoa, you're on your way to school or whatever the case is, that's something crazy. Let me see where it lifted off from. Company tweeted footage of the Falcon 9 booster landing on a drone ship stationed in the Atlantic Ocean after separating from the spacecraft. So they're reusing the rockets. That is so cool. That is one of the coolest parts of this, and that's what makes it, you can say, affordable. So it's was this out of Houston? Yeah, it was in Florida. The company's Dragon spacecraft launched atop a Falcon 9 booster from NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Cape Canaveral, Florida. I'm going to show where this is going. I'm going to share a different screen here and show you this is going towards normalizing suborbital travel, just like spaceflight. And you're going to be able to see Earth-to-Earth space travel. We are preparing, this is an old article from the end of 2020, but we are preparing for Earth-to-Earth space travel, and it's a competition with supersonic airliners. They're going to bring back the supersonic, make that cool because it's super fast. With the supersonics, you can get to anywhere in the Earth probably within a couple hours of flight time. So that cuts down a lot if you're going to Australia, China, from America, stuff like that. Commercial space flight companies are preparing to enter a new market, suborbital flights from one place to another on Earth, aiming for fast transportation for passengers and cargo. These systems are being developed by a combination of established companies such as SpaceX, Virgin Galactic, and new ones like Astra. So right now, I just focus on SpaceX. I don't know where the other ones are because I'm just not knowledgeable on them, if they're even still operating or what they're doing. I haven't heard much from Virgin Galactic recently. I haven't heard much from Astra either. But this is a race against time. This is where we're going. This is where we're going. You're going to be able to take a rocket ship to China from the U.S., for example. And you'll be able to land there in probably an hour. Looking past the important but solvable technical issues of the business case for faster Earth travel also remains to be proven. The cost of space launches and the limited capacity on upcoming supersonic airliners will likely mean higher ticket prices than today's subsonic aircraft, of course. An aspect of tourism may also come into play as some travelers book travel not as commuters, but just to experience high-speed air travel or suborbital space flight. However, this brings in even more competition from systems designed for suborbital space tourism, such as Blue Origin's New Shepard rocket or Virgin Galactic's own Spaceship Two. Orbital space tourism on board SpaceX Crew Dragon and Space Starship vehicles may also draw customers away from the suborbital options. So the suborbital space flight is faster than supersonic. You can get to anywhere on Earth in under an hour. versus a couple hours on those supersonic airliners. There's also challenges, though, and the safety is the big one, is because there's only a few of these rockets going up. The aircraft has been able to prove over time with millions of flights the safety. So when I go on an airplane, I feel safe because we know the statistics. Very often, you're probably safer in the airplane than driving across the country. It's going to take them a lot of flights, a lot more things that we saw today on Friday, April 8th, of Falcon 9 to prove the safety. And then they're going to keep working to get the costs down. And you might be able to commute daily, suborbitally. I know. Let's enjoy the moment now. I don't want to get too much in the future, but it's hard not to. Let me know what you think. Take care.